Hey scrapbookers, it's Jen and I'm back with another process video. I thought before I start I would show you something that I do sometimes when I'm creating a layout and I have an idea in mind before I start. I'm using the Felicity Jane November Autumn Skies kit, and I have this little notebook. This is an old Studio Calico, I think they called it a journal kit. Anyway, it's got like this embossed cover, and then it comes with like a grid paper inside. They all come, the pieces come separately, and then when they used to sell Fabrips, which is just adhesive back to fabric strips, you could use one of those to put your album together. And so I have used one of these in the past, but I ran out of room, and so I just started a new one, and I thought it would be nice to show you what I do. Of course, I decorated it a little bit. It says sketched out because I think I'm funny, and anyway. So this is where I put sketches that I do. So this is the layout that I kind of have an idea in mind. I really love this photo and I really love this kit, so I don't want to mess up. And so that's often when I will create a sketch for myself, just so that I can kind of do it the way that I envisioned. And so, like I said, this is just a bunch of, I believe this one's 5x5. It has a bunch of grid paper inside. I did find, I have 2 extra ones that I've gotten at American Crafts Warehouse sales in the past. And so I am going to include this 4x8. It's got a wood grain embossed cover, and then the grid's a little bit different. If you do 2-page layouts, this one's really good for that. This is the one that I had before. Anyway, I'm going to include this in my 500 subscriber giveaway, which, just as a reminder, I have you have until Thursday, November 20th, to get in your challenge entries, and you can check out that video. I'll try to link it below on this, in the description on this video, but it's my 500 subscriber giveaway. It's going to be an awesome prize, so I hope that you will play along. I've got a lot of ladies who have made cards and scrapbook pages to play along with that punch challenge, so be sure to check that out. Anyway, I'm going to put you on fast forward now and go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching.
So now I'm just going to show you some of the things I'm going to be using. Like I said, I'm using the Felicity Jane November kit, and I'm using a picture of my daughter playing in the leaves. Now, I mentioned before that something I love about this kit is that it's fall without being overly fall colored, and I really like that. So the colors in the photo, my daughter's wearing teal pants, and so I'm going to play on that as an accent color a little bit. I'm using my Distress ink in Tattered Rose to create that background there. And I'm just referencing the sketch that I made a little bit to see what I might, how I might want to compose this layout. um, and then I am just trying to get some wax paper to put my title down. So my title's going to be, Mom, Can I Do My Homework Outside? And my daughter came home from school on this really nice autumn day, and I every day after school I make her do her homework, and so um, she said, "Mom, can I do my homework outside?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I guess." And I went outside a few minutes later, and she was just laying there on the grass, um, pen in hand, and it was just really cute. So I wanted to make sure to document that. So this was just at the end of October. I kind of wished it was in November so I could use some of the cute cut-aparts that say November on them from this kit, but that's okay. So I'm just taking some pieces off that cut-apart sheet to use for layering, and then I'm going to sacrifice 2 of those cut-aparts to um, mount my photo on that yellow X paper, which is on the back of the cut-apart sheet. So um, you saw me fiddle for a minute with where I was going to put that "love this," and I decided I'm okay with the words. I don't usually like words um, pointing that way on the side of the photo. I would have rather it said "love this" flipped 180 degrees, but I'm going to live with it. I like it pointing down, so. And then I just cut some strips off of um, that kind of bluish cardstock, one for the top and one for the bottom. And then that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the days of the week strip is from the cut apart sheet, or from the exclusive printable cut apart sheet thingy. I pulled some stuff from last month's kit, and one of the things were these quirk alphabets. I use these for quite a bit of subtitles and things like that, and so you're gonna see me trying to spell out the word homework, but I don't have any E's left. So I think it came with like 5 or so, but I used them all. So I'm just gonna scratch that, and I didn't have a W either. I must have used both of them, or however many there were. I know there were a couple of each at least. I did pull this wood veneer frame from last month's kit, as well as one of the white resin hearts that fits exactly in that space, and I'm going to use that to kind of frame out where my daughter's laying on the grass in the leaves. And I'm going to use my favorite flare on this page as well, that one that has all the hearts on it. I pulled these mustard letters stickers from my last month's Scraptastic kit. They're the mustard stickers from the Chicken Nitty Scrumptious line. And I'm going to spell homework with those letters. And it ends up working perfectly because it's about the same length as the word outside. And they match really well, so I'm happy with that. Let's see, what else? Oh, I decided to type the Mom Can I Do My part on my typewriter. So I just put one of the printable border strips, the printed border strips that came in the kit, through my typewriter. And I'm just cutting it down to size here. And I didn't want it to be the same length as the other two words. That would have been too blocky for me. So I cut it smaller. And then I'm pulling out the stamps. I am absolutely in love with this stamp set. And I knew I wanted to do some triangles on this layout, so I'm using some Whisper ink from Close to My Heart, and I'm going to stamp triangles in a line from the top to bottom. And by happy accident, I happened to stamp 7 of those triangles, and you'll see in a second here that I'm going to stamp the days of the week inside of those triangles, using those circles that say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So here I am testing it out, trying to see if I want to do it offset a little bit, just on some scratch paper on the side, if I want to do it in pink or if I want to do it in gray or what. And I decide to stamp a bunch off. I often do this where I'll stamp something and then I'll cut it out and place it on my layout to see if it's what I really want. So I did that here with a couple of the circles and immediately knew that I liked it, so I just decided to go for it. That S can be used for the Saturday and the Sunday, so there's just one S. There's only 6 of those stamps, and the S is meant for Saturday and Sunday. So I'm just stamping the days of the week down the side there then. Well, I guess the letters for the days of the week that symbolize the days of the week. And I thought that was fitting because this is a school, like she was doing her homework, and school kind of reminds me of the days of the week, and it kind of plays off the days of the week strip at the top, so I really love that. I really love the way that turned out. I am also pulling a stamp that says to do because I thought that was very fitting. I want to stamp it on the wood, and I stamped it on the back first to see if it was going to work. Wood veneer kind of soaks up dye inks, so I pulled out a pigment ink from Prima that I got in a past kit, and I stamped with that, and I believe it's Old Road that I stamped that in. And that worked out perfectly. And it sits on top of the pigment inks are more paint-like, so they sit on top of whatever you stamp them on. So now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do my journaling on, and I wanted it to be light. I wanted to type it, and I couldn't type on my 12 by 12 piece of paper, so I pulled out a 3 by 4 card from Mambi, Me and My Big Ideas, that just has a simple grid on it, and I went and ran that through my typewriter. And it just says, "That's what Mal said when I asked her to do her homework today. Of course I said yes. A few minutes later I came outside to find her like this and my heart melted. Perfect autumn day, October 30th, 2014." So I'm just adhering all my layers now, making sure things get stuck down. I ran out of adhesive, so I'm quickly changing that. This pink this to that American Crafts adhesive is kind of tricky when you change it. You have to be really careful because it comes unraveled easily. But I've said before, I am able to go to the American Crafts warehouse sale and get these for super cheap, so it's worth the hassle to me. I like the way it works when it's in there, and I've had very few problems because I'm careful and I know that I need to be careful. So just something to think about, I guess. I stapled that wood veneer frame onto the photo just with my tiny attacher. And I did that before I glued the whole piece down because it would have been hard to go through all of those layers, I think. I also pulled out my notebook edge punch from Fiskars, and I'm just punching it on that Love This cut apart, which I thought was also very fitting because she was doing homework. So I love that punch, and I've always loved that punch. I actually bought it at Archivers when they were going out of business, my local Archivers, for like $3. So that was awesome because I had always wanted one. So anyway, that was very fitting. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want to place these vellum leaves. I want them to overlap some of the layers because it just brings out the fact that they're vellum, and I really like that. And so I want to make sure I overlap some of the layers. And now I am just figuring out how to place my titles. So when I glued down that big cluster, I used foam squares, just thin ones, and so it's lifted off the page just a little bit. And so the thickers, well, I guess they aren't thickers, they're pink paisley chipboard stickers. They need a little bit of lift too. So I'm just putting a little bit of that foam, that thin foam adhesive on the tops of the letters, and then I'll let the bottoms adhere to the paper. And those particular chipboard alphas are pretty sticky, so I'm not too worried about them coming off. But it's nice to have the added adhesive with the foam. So I'm just laying down my title. I'm trying to line it up with the top of the photo, and when I originally did it on my wax paper, I think I spread it out a little bit more, and it kind of filled the whole top of the photo, like it went across that whole piece. But this time it didn't, so I decided to the these chipboard alphas don't come with punctuation, so I decided to just make my own question mark out of a P, and I think it works pretty well. So I just decided to do that to fill in that last little space there. And here it was going a little too high, and I wanted that homework to rest right on top of the line of where those alphabets were, so I'm just moving it down a little bit and gluing that back down. And then I'm going to put down my word homework. And I'll move these around a little bit, a few times. I just want to make sure I have an even amount of space on either side of the word. So I don't want the H to go all the way to the O and outside, and the K not go all the way to the end of the question mark. So I kind of just moved it over a little bit. And then I'm putting down that "Mom, can I do my" little thing that I typed with some foam, and kind of pulling up the edges so it looks like the banner is fluffed out a little bit. And then I'm just putting a little bit of adhesive on these leaves so that it doesn't show through, because they're vellum. You can see through them, and they're not perfectly see-through, and they're kind of darker colors, so you can't see my adhesive at all on those, so that's good. I'll end up moving that top leaf slightly. And then I'm putting down my flare badge, and then I found another one of those white hearts that matches the one that's in the frame. So I put that up to the top with that flare. And I like the way that looks. And now I'm pulling out something I have actually, I might have used this once on a page before, but it's a perler pen, and it's gold, and it just makes little dots of like, it makes little pearls almost, just little round dots of shiny goodness. And so I'm using that instead of, the kit did come with enamel dots, but I wanted gold, so I'm just using those, um, that perler glue pen thing, and that's by Viva, and I got that at my local Joann's. And then I'm using some of the twine that came in the kit, and I'm just unraveling it. It's nice and thick when you unravel it, like the strands are pretty thick still, and so I'm just making little nests of thread and putting them in. I'm going to put them on 3 spots, um, by the leaves, and then also up at the top underneath my little flare piece there. And I'm just using a little bit of adhesive below each one of those to get it to stick down, just enough. I don't want it to be too structured. You can see I moved that leaf to go straight up and down next to the homework outside, and when I take photos I end up hating it, so I change it. And then what I was doing there was I totally messed up. I'm so mad at myself. I totally put my hand in that perler glue, um, whatever that stuff is called, and I totally messed it up. It takes a little while to dry, so you got to be patient. So I had to go and retype that journaling because it was all smudged everywhere. And it's still a little bit smudged on that blue piece of paper, but I'm going to leave it. So here I'm just adding some more little dots, and I actually end up adding a few more than I originally had. I like the way that these end up looking. They have a nice rounded and finished edge. And then I'm just putting a tiny bit more of that pink, that Tattered Rose Distress ink at the bottom. I felt like it needed a little bit more. And that's going to complete the layout. I hope that you enjoyed watching this. I had so much fun making it. I seriously am loving this kit. The colors are spot on for me, and if you want to find out more, you can go to felicityjane.com, and you can find me. I have all of the places you can find me listed at the end of this video, but you can find me on Instagram at jscow, and on the Nicole Jones Facebook group. I'm pretty active there. So thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.